Probability is the chance that something will happen and is often used with another type of math called statistics. Probability is often used with games like card, dice, coins, and gambling, although you see it used every day when you watch the news and there is a weather report. For now, we will use die and coin examples because they are easy to understand. Probability is expressed as a ratio in the form of a fraction between 0 and 1, so it will always be a value greater than 0 or less than 1. Other terms used for the number value between 0 and 1 are probability measure and distribution. The fraction can be broken down like this. The number of desired outcomes is placed over the total number of outcomes. Probability can be in the form of a fraction, decimal, or percentage, and we will see these conversions later. To explain simple probability, we will use a limited number of outcomes per event or action, like only the numbers 1 to 6 on a die. The number of total outcomes in one event is also called a sample space, and we can write it like this if we are using a single die. S equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Desired outcomes go on top and become the numerator, while total number of outcomes go on the bottom and become the denominator. Here's a fun tip. You can remember where to put the numerator and denominator by memorizing the phrase nice dog. The N comes before or on top of the D. You can use the notation PE, meaning what is the probability P of an event E occurring. Let's use an example with a die. What is the probability of rolling a fair die and getting a 4, or P4? Since a die has 6 sides with a different number on each side, there is a probability of 1 out of 6 that you will roll a 4, since 4 is a number on one of the 6 sides. This is the meaning of fair, that there is an equal chance of getting any number. You may have used the word in the term fair game, meaning that every player has an equal chance of winning. Here is how you can write these probability options. 1 over 6, or convert that fraction to a decimal, 0.1667. Or convert that fraction to a percentage, 16.67%. Here is how you can pronounce these options. There is a 1 out of 6 probability of getting a 4, or a 1,667 thousandths out of 1 probability, or a 16 and 67 hundredths % out of 100 probability. Notice how when the same fraction is converted into a decimal and percentage, the range changes? When we are dealing with fractions, the range is whatever the total number of outcomes are. If there are only 6 sides of the die, then the range or denominator is the total number of sides or the sample space. But when the fraction is converted to a decimal, the range is 1 because we are comparing the decimal to 1. Likewise, when the fraction is converted to a percentage, the sample space is 100 because percentages are always part of 100. Which is easier for you to understand, a fraction, decimal, or percentage? Try to get used to using all three because they come up in different situations. Next, we will look at impossible, possible, and certain probabilities.